I'm now joined by Ward 3 Brantford City Councillor Dan McCreary. Hi Dan, how are you today?
Hello Patty, excellent, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Last night at City Council, you brought forward a new resolution. 2 weeks ago, a resolution was voted down to allow workers that are healthcare workers to reside in a trailer or motorhome on their property.
Right.
Let's start there. Why didn't it pass the first time it came to council?
Well, to set the table, I guess, Patty, folks have always had the ability to spend time in their trailers and their driveways. The current bylaw, before any amendment, allowed you to be 2 weeks in the trailer, provided it was in the side yard or the backyard, not the front yard. So what came to us a couple of weeks ago was a resolution which was prepared by Councillor Antoski. And when it came time to vote, some of us felt that it lacked really in terms of health and safety protections and you know, the kind of oversight that we really need in the community. And it's unfortunate at the time, there really wasn't an opportunity for collaboration on the original resolution because we've got an abbreviated time frame now without notice of motion, without committee of the whole. Things are coming straight to council. So council wasn't able to resolve it that night. So following the conclusion of that bit of business, Councillor Weaver and I embarked upon a plan to create some amendments that would make it palatable to all members of council, because I think everybody at the table not only respects and you know, cares for the needs of our essential workers in town, but we all wanted to make this happen. So we worked on a series of amendments to this, and then it came to the table last night. And so I've got to say that in the end, it was a real collaborative effort, Patty. When I think of who participated, of course, Councillor Antoski and staff prepared the original resolution, which was a lot of work. Councillor Weaver and I drafted the majority of the amendments that came forward last night, but I would say that we did receive input from, let's see, Councillor Utley, Councillor Celeste, Councillor Vanderstelt. Councillor Vanderstelt brought an amendment last night, as did Councillor Martin. We also received some input from the mayor, I believe from Councillor Wall. So everybody sort of, you know, most councillors had a hand in what we did last night. So what we did last night was we defined where in the driveway a trailer could go. It can now go in front of the house. It just can't be within a meter of the sidewalk. It can only be in residential driveways because that's all this bylaw deals with. And they can't be on corner lots because that really obstructs the view for drivers and pedestrians approaching an intersection. So we fixed those, you know, those locational things that were absent from the original resolution. We also included the definitions that are current with us, Patty, in terms of what you can do now, in terms of staying in your trailer for 2 weeks out of each month. And then the other things that we did, I guess, last night were we defined how you have to report this thing. So the reporting thing is pretty darn easy. You go ahead and put your trailer in the driveway if you're an essential worker. And, you know, within a week or so, you email us or phone us or send us a note at City Hall telling us your address, your name, and, you know, giving proof that you're an essential worker. So, you know, a copy of your pay stub with the numbers blanked out is more than sufficient. There was some debate last night that it was onerous, but not onerous at all. Everybody, you know, everybody that's working has a pay stub they can photocopy and send in. So, and the other thing is that we're not going to enforce the bylaw. So we've got a temporary use bylaw in place, effective last night. So folks can do this now. There's going to be a further bylaw that comes back to us that legitimizes what we did last night. So technically that's when it would become effective. But as far as council's concerned, folks can go ahead and start doing this today. The other thing we did was Councillor Vanderstelt introduced an amendment that would ensure that people are made aware of the fact that they have to be careful with any sewage that's created within the trailer or mobile home. And Councillor Martin brought a very good amendment as well, stating that the use of generators, which are pretty darn noisy in a residential context, is not going to be permitted. And Councillor Martin, of course, he owns a recreational vehicle and he knows all about it. So anybody that has one knows that you can just run your extension cord from the vehicle to the house. So I think, you know, the collaboration that we've seen on this is very, very refreshing. There wasn't a lot of animosity last night, not a lot of hurt feelings. And I really hope that Patty, that we can kind of maintain this collaborative effort going forward. Things have really gone south on us since this Airedale debate, and there's been significant animosity in the community, and you know, it's really colored everything we've done on this council. And I made the point last night again that we've really got to get beyond these parochial firefights that we've been going through on council, and we've got to be more collaborative and get back to the way we were, which was 11 people rowing the boat in the same direction. And I think we made good inroads last night.
And you bring up Arrowdale, which has nothing to do with this particular motion, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of negativity and bashing. I'm going to say bashing online on
that's right.
Facebook and Twitter. Now I just want to clarify, the vote for no was because you wanted to take more time to do it right.
We couldn't see proceeding with this in the way it was originally crafted because it left a lot of opportunity for things to go south on us. Like the original resolution didn't specify where the trailer could sit on the property. So, you could have had obstructed views of sidewalks and roadways. And Mayor Davis, I think in the first debate, said it very clearly. He said, you know what, I don't want it on my conscience if some kid gets run over and hurt or killed because we've allowed RVs to encroach on sidewalks and roads. So that was some of the stuff that we thought needed fixing. And Councillor, I forget who it was last night, one of the councillors, it might have been Councillor Otley, said, you know what, or Councillor Sless perhaps, he said, you know what, every time we do something, we've got to get it right the first time. It's essential to get it right the first time because it's really tough to backtrack. And so that's what we've done. Now,
and with the way that you're meeting, you're not meeting with committee of the whole, you're going right to council. So there's no time to discuss things because it's sort of a yes, no at that point, right? You can't send it back for a referral or deferral. Is that part of the reason why it didn't pass at a council, because it would have come through other committees?
Yeah, you know what, if we'd gone through the normal cycle, what we did last night, we would have done it, we would have done it the council night. So it would have gone to committee of the whole and there would have been the discussion. And then the next week we would have fixed it, right? Because that's the business we're in. Collaboration is the key to, successful municipal government. And the time frame was just so quick that that wasn't really doable on the council night when it was first debated. So but you talked. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to come back to what you said about some of the hateful commentary in the community. Councillor Wall and the mayor have been particularly singled out and vilified by some of these keyboard warriors, Patti. And it's I raised the Airedale thing because what we're seeing in this community is a sort of coalescing of a lot of negativity and hatred around that issue. And it spills over in everything else that's happening now, and it's very unfortunate. There's a very tiny group of very angry, evil people that are pushing this agenda forward, and there's a whole lot of people that really do care about the demise of the course and care about the loss of what they think is public open space, but really isn't. And I see what happens at council. Everything that we do now is framed in that sort of parenthesis around Airedale and those hard feelings that continue in this community. And it's just a damn shame. And I've never seen this in Brantford before. I think I look at a couple of the key people that are involved, not councillors, mind you, key people in the community who are involved in pushing this agenda forward. A couple of failed candidates for public office, and I just wonder what gets into people's heads, Patti.
And now is the time to pull together and not be fighting these little tiny wars that are eroding people's mental health, that are putting people.
For council last night, I think this was a step in the right direction for us, and I'm hoping we're back on track. But I don't really see any help for the very small core of malicious people in this community that are just all over people like Josh and Kevin. Okay.
Crisis does bring out the best and worst in people, right? But
and these folks had a head start on way head start on this. Okay.
Sort of a mudslinging campaign that I've been observing for quite a long time.
It's nonstop. Yep.
So going forward, people, what do they need to do? If you're a healthcare worker or a frontline worker and you want to live in your RV or trailer, what's the process? Just wrap that up for us.
First of all, if you think if you're clearly an essential worker like healthcare, if you're working in a grocery store, you're clearly essential. If you're not sure, you got to go to the province of Ontario's website and find out. Okay, That's what the corporation tells people. Go to the source, find out if you fit the category. If that's the case, and if you've got room in your front yard for a trailer that you can be back a meter from the lot line, go ahead and start using it. You want to, and the point was raised last night that, I mean, most trailer owners know all the rules and regulations around how you properly dispose of sewage, but somebody said last night, for somebody that might be borrowing one, you might not really understand what you can and can't do. So what we want you to do is go ahead and set up, if you're able to. You can't be on a corner lot, you can't be closer to a meter to the lot line. Go ahead and start doing that in advance of the bylaw coming back to us. We're not going to be enforcing things, provided that you put the thing where we've said you can put it. And you've also got to, as I said, you got to email us or phone us or send a letter in telling us that you're going to be doing this, your name, your address, your phone number, all that stuff. And, some very basic proof of the fact that you're an essential worker, or that you're quarantining, or that there's an essential worker in the house, right? And then all's good. It was an awful lot of fuss and negativity over something that really was doable before the debate, and now we've clarified the issues around this, and I hope that everybody's going to be happy in the community. And I got to say too, Patty, that we haven't really had a whole lot of inquiries by people who want to do this. I've had 2. I think Greg's had a couple. So it's not widespread, and most of this tempest was caused by some of these keyboard warriors out there that take offense at everything that happens. So, but there are a number of people, I think, that we're. Oh, and the other thing I should say to you too is that the other part of the resolution is that we tasked Councillors Utley and Sless with being in touch with hotels and being in touch with donors who might be willing to contribute to hotel funds to help people that don't want to stay at home. And the second part of that is Councillor Weaver and I are going to be talking with trailer companies to see what they might be able to do in terms of offering discount rental rates. And we're also going to be looking at, of course, there's a lot of people that can't, you can't have a trailer on your property if you live in an apartment building, right, or a townhouse. So Councillor Weaver and I are looking at opportunities elsewhere in the corporation for community partners to be able to host, trailer, like makeshift trailer parks. And we're also going to be looking at whether or not the corporation might have space to do that on an underutilized property as well.
That sounds great. It sounds like you guys have thought about a lot of different options to help our healthcare.
And you know what? That's, like I said, that's the consequence of the shortened and abbreviated time frame, right? This all would have come up probably at committee night, and we'd have done this on council night, and that would have saved us a week. But that just ain't the way it happens now. We're going to be back to our regular schedule, we think, maybe in May. Okay. In terms of the notice, COW council night, and then we're also hopefully going to be able to receive delegations either in person at the hall or via Zoom. Although we've got some security concerns with this.
Yeah, and I can understand that everything is moving and changing on a daily basis, and
for sure.
There's no normal. There's no normal anymore. But I appreciate you chatting with me today and explaining all of this with me. I really wanted to hear your side of this, and I think it's important that people understand that this is now something that they can do. And it doesn't sound like it's as difficult. There doesn't seem to be as much red tape as people were initially thinking. So
no red tape whatsoever. Just tell us you're doing it, and away you go. Right.
Excellent. Thanks for your time today, Councillor.
You take care. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.